What's up, people of YouTube? This is Troller here, bringing you guys another top 10 video on my channel this week. Now, this week we are going to be doing the top 10 perks in Call of Duty history. Now, this list actually, it wasn't hard to make, but it wasn't necessarily easy either. It came out just perfectly at 10. I don't have any honorable mentions this time. Some of these are kind of new perks, and some of them are perks that you guys are probably going to be like, well, why is this on there? And once again, it all comes down to personal preference. So, first of all, if you guys like this content, please subscribe, come back for more. It really helps me out, and so on and so forth. So let's crack right into this top 10. Now, at number 10, for the top 10 perks in Call of Duty history, I have Marksman from Modern Warfare 3. You guys probably don't know what the Marksman perk was, because I don't think very many people really used it. But it was basically so where, when I'm aiming down sights, the name above the enemy players' heads, their gamer tag, would show up practically anywhere on the entire map. And in Modern Warfare 3, there was lots of little nooks and crannies and places that you could hide. For instance, I think about Modern Warfare 3's mission and like that long stretch on the, if you're spawning where the church is on the left-hand side of the map, there was those buildings and that brush on the other side, and you could literally just aim down there, and if they were hiding in a bush, you would see their gamer tag above their head in like bright red colors. So it was a very useful perk to me. I always used the ACR. It was my Willy. It was my favorite Modern Warfare 3 gun, and so that's pretty much why that's on this list. At number 9, I have peripherals from Advanced Warfare, and I think pretty much everybody uses this. I don't think you guys have ever seen me using a gameplay where I wasn't using peripherals. So I really like this perk because, one, it makes my minimap larger, and two, because when I kill somebody, the little skull and crossbones does not show up on the enemy player's screen, which is actually more useful than you would think, especially if you're playing against sweatbags like I usually do. So peripherals is at number 9. Moving on to number 8, I have the bling, or from Black Ops 1, Warlord, and then there's some other different abbreviations, I think, of perks, but bling was where you could have 2 attachments on your gun. Now they're not really perks, they're wild cards and stuff, but yeah, you could have, more attachments on your gun, which is always nice because I always like running the most amount of attachments I can, as long as the attachments are good. Moving on to number 7, I have Blast Suppressor from Modern Warfare 3. Blast Suppressor is a lifesaver, guys, let me tell you. Okay, so if you're running Blast Suppressor and you're playing, nobody can see the little like circles and waves that you make every time you jump on the minimap. Like, players who aren't real good at the game, you guys aren't really aware of how useful the minimap is at this point, but you will. If you keep playing, you'll figure it out, I promise. And Blast Suppressor, basically, it saves you, okay? So like, if I was to play a game without Blast Suppressor, I would probably, I don't know how well it wouldn't be very good. I wouldn't do very well at all, I'm not gonna lie. But with Blast Suppressor, I do a really good job most of the time because I like to stay off the minimap. You guys are going to see that later on in this top 10. You're going to see, judging off the perks that I use, that I do not like being on the minimap. Moving on to number 6, I have Steady Aim, which was really good for the SMGs, I believe, in Modern Warfare 3. It was really good, and I think in Black Ops 1, they had some sort of Steady Aim. Those perks were really good for those games because you could just hip fire and walk around, and you wouldn't have to ADS, which saves you a lot of time. So I felt like it deserved to be on this list. Moving on to number 5, I have Dead Silence. You could never go wrong with some Dead Silence, especially in Search and Destroy or competitive, in competitive games. Like, I think about Black Ops 2 and Call of Duty Ghosts the most for the competitive aspect when it comes to Dead Silence. So, I think it's a mistake that it wasn't in Advanced Warfare. It should have been a perk, but, it's their game. They do what they do. Moving on to number 4, we have Sleight of Hand. Now, Sleight of Hand is more of a crutch perk. I don't use it anymore. Obviously, we don't really have it, but we used to have forms of this perk, and I don't really use it anymore. So, that's kind of how it is. Like, Sleight of Hand was just kind of, it saves you time, you can get more kills, etc, etc, but it wasn't that great of a perk. It didn't do that much for you, but it was definitely useful. It was so nice to reload really, really fast and just get it done and over with. Moving on to number 3, we have Quick Draw. Quick Draw is almost as good as Sleight of Hand, except for this one actually gives you a real advantage. Quick Draw makes you ADS faster, so that way when you're in gunfights, you aim down sights faster than the other person. and it just absolutely, it can save your life. It can make or break a game. If you don't have quick draw, you can just be getting completely destroyed the entire game. Or if you have quick draw, you can be the one destroying those scrub-a-dub-dub-dub-dubs. So at number 2, we have Ghost or Assassin, whatever you guys want to call it. And you guys are probably going to hate on me for this, but every Call of Duty game, I use this perk. I do, because I hate being on the minimap in any shape, way, or form. In Advanced Warfare, I can't think of what the perk is called. You guys probably know it. I can't think of it. But I don't like being on the minimap. That's why I use this. I've used it in Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2. It's just the way to go. Okay, now, at number 1, the most important perk and the best perk to run in a Call of Duty game, to me, is Toughness. Now, this kind of seemed like it started back in Black Ops 2, but Toughness is the way to go. If Toughness makes it so that way, when you're getting shot at by an enemy, you do not flinch and your screen flies all over the place, because without Toughness, it seems like you just get melted, because you're shooting at somebody, they start shooting at you, your gun starts flying everywhere, and they have you dead. That's pretty much what it is. So Toughness is 100% one of the best perks in any Call of Duty game in the history of ever. So I hope you guys remember that. If you guys enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe. Also, comment down below. Comment down below what you guys want to see on next week's top 10. It means a ton to me. I really like your guys' suggestions. I have one really active subscriber on these top 10s, and thank you very much, sir, for commenting what you want to see in the coming weeks. But anyways, guys, Twitter and Facebook links will be down in the description as always. The video you guys are going to see on screen, the last video that I made, and deuces.